and 95.3 FM, W237BD Boca Raton, the Health and Wealth Radio Network.
If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, tune in to the Dr. Bob Martin Show. From erectile dysfunction to eczema, heartburn to headaches, carpal tunnel to how to lower cholesterol drug-free. Sunday mornings at 10 on Talk 1470 WNN.
Mom, can we have some ice cream?
I've got a better idea. Who wants to help me make something fun and healthy instead?
Eating smarter is easy and delicious. Interested in receiving healthy recipes and a whole lot more in your email? Then register at healthiestweightfl.com and learn more about all the small steps that you can take on the way to living healthy. This message is sponsored by the Ounce of Prevention Fund of Florida, the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Talk health, talk wealth, talk politics, talk 1470 and 95.3 FM, WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Are you ready? It is your time to take a few moments from your busy day to unwind, be inspired, and listen to the psychic insights of your host, empowerment psychic, Halley, Elise, a top 100 psychic, speaker, and author. Off air, be sure to connect with Halley at halleyelise.com. And now, the Halley Elise Show.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining in. We already have a caller on the line. I want to give everyone the phone number if you'd like to call in this evening for your own psychic reading. It's 888-565-1470. Once again, that's 888-565-1470. If you are on Facebook and you're watching the live stream, feel free to type in a question. I'll do my best to try to keep an eye on the monitor so that I can answer you. And if for some reason I miss it, I'll do my best to get back on later this evening to take a look and give you an answer. But calling in is usually the best way to reach me when I'm on the air. I wanted to bring up something that I was contemplating, and I've been thinking about this week and even earlier today. What's the subject matter that could be of value, that could be helpful to all of you that are listening in, besides individual readings? I do my best to create an environment that helps you become more empowered, more inspired, to realize your own presence has extreme value and that it's important. And even more than that, that if circumstance is not to your liking, that you have the ability to change it. Even greater than that is truly learning how to listen from within. How often is it that we have a situation where there's an argument, for instance, and you are just reactive instead of taking a moment and listening? What is it that really needs to be said, or what is it that truly needs to be addressed? We tend to be reactive. Everybody does it. I do it on occasion. The reason I say on occasion, because I'm thinking about certain family members who can push my buttons. Even though I'm usually pretty good, within a short period of time I write myself, but I've been doing this for a really long time. Back to, if you are in an argument, how do you respond? Do you just say, oh, well, you said this and you were wrong and I thought that? And the reason I ask this, the reason I bring this up is because if you allow yourself to get quiet and just ask yourself, how should I respond to this? You'll find inevitably there's an answer. Take the anger out of it, take the emotion out of it, take the need to be right out of your response, and you will find that what comes through is the perfect thing that needs to be heard, the perfect thing that needs to be said. If you find that in that moment you cannot get peaceful enough or still enough or even choose to be still, take a breather for yourself. Literally walk away from the conversation or the argument or the situation, take a breath and breathe internally. And what I mean by that is, yes, we take a breath, it's a physical thing, but I'm talking about taking a spiritual breath so that you can connect to the divine, so that you have that moment to connect with your own knowing. As soon as you do that, you change everything. Something to think about. We have Susan on the line. Hi, Susan. How are you?
Well, that's why I'm talking to you today, Halley.
Okay, so this applies to you, yes?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, perfect.
I have been, it's been a difficult year for me, especially financially. And the thing is, for the past 3 years, been working very hard to improve conditions. Well, you know all this. But right now, I'm starting a new job that the pay, it's something I was doing 30-some years ago when I was in my 20s.
Wow.
The pay is about what it was when I was in my 20s. I am about to be late on a bunch of stuff. Like I said, I've been working very hard to get ahead and to, pay bills and make up for, well, the kind of the behavior that I had back in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel so drained, and it's like a dark gray around me. I can't see a way. I am literally on someone's couch surfing on someone's sofa.
Right.
Yeah, I just...
Okay, I want to pose something to you.
Okay.
You're couch surfing. While you're doing that, obviously that's not where you want to be. But you also know that you've been in your own space, and you also know that there is the ability to be in your own space again. Even though in your head right now you're thinking, well, you don't know how that's going to happen, you know it is a possibility, yes?
Yes.
Really think about this. Okay. Knowing that, step back from it for just a second and ask yourself, if you didn't pay the bills that are late, is anybody locking you up in jail? No. If you didn't pay the bills that are late, are you unable to have a meal? Are you unable to have your specific physical needs taken care of? Or can you still take a shower, have a meal, get a glass of water, those types of things? And the reason I'm putting this to you this way is because you tend to jump to the future and don't allow yourself to see the future in the way that you want it, because the present seems so uncomfortable. And yet the universe keeps creating these scenarios for you so that you respond different. And you do really well at thinking about what it might be like if you shifted a little, if something fell into place, if, versus looking at it as, I am determined to make a change because this isn't to my liking. And I'm going to find all the ways to do that. Now, all that said, I know you're exceptionally smart. I know you are exceptionally capable. And I know that going backwards in the way that you're perceiving it doesn't help you, because you're saying, but wait, I've already done this. I shouldn't be doing this again, especially for the money, especially for the lack of money. And yet you're in the same place. You're in the same place because you keep receiving the same lesson and not quite mastering it. And that doesn't mean that you can't move beyond this moment, but what it does mean is you're given an opportunity to take a look at where you're at and why you are here. And it's telling you to get laser focused. It's telling you to really make a commitment to yourself as to what you want to accomplish, not because you know how, not because you know why, but because this is where you are and this is not what you like. You follow me so far?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Writing down notes.
Okay, let's take this a step further. The fact that you have this cycle repeating itself, again, just to reiterate, it means that you haven't quite gotten the lesson. And the lesson is that you need to put yourself and what you desire first and everything else second. And that means you can't have 10 things in front of you that you can do that you know you can make money at. It's a matter of doing the thing that is literally in front of you in this moment and start working with that. And start putting money aside. And I know you're thinking, what? How can I put money aside if I'm making less than what I should be making? Take $1, literally $1 from whatever comes in and split it into separate, we'll say, envelopes. And identify one of those envelopes as necessities. So that would be bills. That would be rent, mortgage, car payments, gasoline, food, electric, phone, that type of thing. And the others set up for entertainment. So that would be like playtime. Set up for long-term savings, which means what your future could look like if you have money, and set up for, I'm going to say, the things that you do for other people. So that would be a birthday gift, or that would be getting flowers for somebody, this type of thing. But create just a few different envelopes. And I'm only suggesting 4. Typically, there's a lot more that's suggested. But out of that dollar, think about what percent of the money that comes in usually goes to your necessities. Where you are right now, it's a huge number. It's probably somewhere around 90%, if not more. So that leaves you 10 cents out of $1. You follow me so far here? Out of that 10 cents, split it into the 3 envelopes. And obviously, it's not going to be equal. So let's say we give a little more towards playtime. So you put 3 pennies in each envelope. And I know you're kind of thinking here, oh, this is ridiculous. What am I going to do with 3 pennies? And yet, if you did that every week, it grows. And you would find that you start to get to a place where not only does it grow, but you are able to put more in, so that the percentages of what you owe and your responsibilities and necessities starts to shift, so that there is a little bit more balance. Because what you start to do is create a habit about money and being comfortable with gathering money. Even though I'm suggesting like $1, and it ends up being what seems a very minimal number to work with, it's not really about the number, but it's about you acquiring a different pattern of how you're thinking. Your thinking is all about, I've got to work so I can pay what I owe. You don't think about, I'm working to take care of things as well as have enjoyment, as well as do things for friends, as well as having the capacity to do more than what you're doing, because that view has been narrowed. And I truly, with all my heart, feel that the universe keeps doing this because you've not gotten out of your own way of recognizing that it's not the number, but it's how you manage. If every time you get money in, you think, oh, I wish this was more. If every time you get money in, you go into that place of panic, it's not enough to take care of things, then what you're doing is reiterating to yourself, which has to do with your subconscious mind accepting what you're saying, that you don't have enough. And that it's the same thing over. And what you're saying to the universe is, this is where you want to be, which is contrary to what you really want. I know that if you would start to look at your money slightly differently in the way that I'm referring to it, if you started that literally with your first paycheck from this new job, within, I'm going to say 5 months, 7 months max, you would be able to see that light. You would start seeing that you could move into your own place again, that you can get back on your feet. Even with the money that you owe out, and I started with the idea of, if you looked at it, what could be the worst that happened? Nobody's coming after you. They could send you nasty notices. They could take away a credit card. I mean, all of these things are possible.
They could take away my car. I don't want that.
Right. And so you have to look at what's the most important. Obviously, your vehicle is the most important in this scenario. But an old electric bill, I'm not saying don't pay it. I'm just saying take a look. If you gave them even $5 a week towards what you owe, you would still be making a payment. And that payment would be helping you towards what comes next. Think in terms of this. If your vehicle is the most important thing right now because it gets you from point A to point B, because you can't be without a vehicle, because if you don't have a vehicle, you can't go to work, you can't go anywhere, then that's got to be that large part of that dollar. That would be that 90 cents that went towards that vehicle. And again, I'm using the dollar as an example, but I think you follow what I'm talking about. It's not the number. It's, again, the idea that no matter how much money you have coming in, you are putting it towards the thing that is most important. And you are also putting it towards these other things that help nurture you. Because you can't just work to make money. And I know that's what it's been feeling like. Okay, you work, you're not really getting your due, you're not really getting enjoyment, and you just keep doing the same thing because you want to get ahead. And yet, how can you possibly get ahead if you don't have enough coming in? But that way of looking at it just perpetuates a cycle. I mean, think about this logically. And again, you're a very smart woman. Think about this. If you do the same thing over and over again and you want to change, and you know from previous history that that pattern isn't working, then you can't make a change.
Right. If nothing changes, nothing changes.
Correct. Let me leave you with this. Get a couple of envelopes or a Ziploc bag, I don't care, a little dish that you can put money into, and start creating change to work with so that you start to get into a pattern that's different. And I'm telling you, 5 to 7 months, if you do this, you will see a magnificent difference in your world. All right, my friend.
Okay.
Have a
Thank
great
you,
night.
Halley.
My pleasure.
You too.
We'll be right back with the Halley Elise Show. Thank you. This is your empowerment psychic, Halley Elise, one of the top 100 psychics in America. For over 30 years, I have offered psychic readings, programs, spiritual guidance, and other life skill techniques. As our lives have become more complicated, we often reach for answers. Who are we? Where are we headed? Are we pointed in the right direction? In addition, we often are concerned for our loved ones. I have helped thousands of people navigate their life circumstances through different modalities of spiritual and intuitive guidance. Call me at 561-755-2166 and allow me to further explain how I may assist you in clearing the path of yesterday so today and tomorrow will be a success. Call me at 561-755-2166 or visit my site, HalleyElise.com. That's HalleyElise.com.
You have been listening to empowerment psychic Halley Elise, a top 100 psychic. She is your connection to all things spiritual, psychic, and empowering. Your guide to peace and wisdom. For a private appointment off air, call 561-755-2166. Now, back to the Halley Elise Show with empowerment psychic Halley Elise.
Welcome back, everyone. If you were listening just a little while ago, I was talking about how when you are in a situation financially that you are feeling strapped and all you can focus on is where you're at, you're going to draw more of the same. Think about it this way, like attracts like, we've heard all our lives. We've heard birds of a feather flock together. We've heard all different types of little sayings and adages that show you that if you are in a particular place or you are in a certain frame of mind, that there is more of the same. Another way of looking at that is what you focus on expands. Where your attention goes, energy flows. Okay, I could give you a million of them. The point is, if you're not happy in this moment, you have to change. You have to make some change. Even if it is a minuscule change, any change is a good change. Even, believe it or not, if temporarily it's more uncomfortable. And the reason for that is usually when you become more uncomfortable, you get to a place where it is a catalyst that pushes you to that nth degree so that you are able to do something different. You get desperate enough that you look at things and say, I've got to do anything to make it happen. It changes your mindset. You break that pattern. And I'm not suggesting that you go to that end degree where there is such strife that you can barely breathe. That's not a healthy place to be in. Yet, if you don't do something, then you get the same outcome. We know this logically, but we get bogged down because we're not listening to that inner guidance. I started the show out with talking about if you're having a fight, if something isn't going well, we usually get reactive. And our last caller was talking about that here. You know, this is where she's at. She is being reactive because she doesn't know what to do. And yet, if you just modify the way you're doing things, even the slightest bit, you start to see a difference. I'm going to share something funny. I was out with a friend yesterday. We went for brunch. And it was a riot because our server came over and she was nasty. She was in a foul mood. I don't know if something happened to the kitchen or the table before us weren't nice, but she just wasn't having it. And she walked away, and I said out loud to my friend, I said, I live in a friendly universe where people are nice to me. The waitress came back over. Her mood was totally different. I kid you not. And she was as sweet as she could be. She left, and my friend said, what, do we have a microphone at the table? she couldn't figure out what was going on. Waitress comes back a little later, and again, she is not in a nice mood. She is not being friendly or accommodating. I had lipstick on my coffee cup, which wasn't mine, by the way. I said to her, there's lipstick on here. Is it possible? Before I could get my sentence finished to ask for another cup of coffee, she says, you want another cup? Why don't you just say so? I could get you another cup. And I'm thinking, wow, we're having a good day. She walked away, and I went into my head and I said, that's okay. I live in a friendly universe. Everybody is nice to me. She came back with another cup of coffee and apologized that she didn't recognize that the first cup had lipstick on it, offered me extra whatever. It was really funny. And again, my friend said, all right, there's a microphone hidden under the table here. She's somehow recognizing, seeing what's going on, because this is just too weird. She's watching this back and forth, back and forth. When I'm having a really rotten day, I remind myself, I live in a friendly, abundant universe. There was something going on the other day, and I just wasn't in the best space. And I said, okay, what do I need to do here? And I'm hearing in my head, I'm hearing through my own intuition, why aren't you asking for a friendly universe? Why aren't you affirming that? And I thought, yeah, okay, I'll do that. I had to run to the store and get something. I get out of my car, there's a quarter. I go into the store to get something, and the product that I'm supposed to get, they didn't have, so it ended up where it didn't cost what it normally would cost. Then from there, something else happened. The idea is there was this cascading effect once I shifted my energy and just allowed myself to listen. And I know these things. There are moments where I get distracted and I don't pay attention. And that's when things don't feel so good. And that's when things become challenging. Now, oftentimes we have stuff outside of ourselves that we cannot control. But even then, take just a breath and say, okay, what is it that I need to do in this moment? You'll be amazed at how things turn. We have Loretta on the line. Hi, Loretta. How are you?
Good. How are you, Halley?
Great. Thank you. Did you have a specific area of focus this evening?
I was going to talk about health.
Health?
Yeah.
Okay. And again, did you have a specific question, or did you want me to just kind of focus for you?
No, I was just going to leave that to you.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to preface with, that I'm not a doctor. This is not a medical diagnosis or prognosis.
Correct.
This is just energy, and you always want to defer to your judgment and your physicians. Okay. That being said, a little disclaimer there. It's interesting. What comes up for me is, I want to say almost shortness of breath, but I don't feel that's the problem. But when that shows up for me, that usually means there's an emotional connection to whatever's going on. As far as physical state being, I'm going to use the word depressed, not as an emotional state, but as in immune system, as in I get restlessness, and yet I feel tired. I feel as if there's a drain, for a lack of a better way to put this. And I feel like it is connected, again, to emotion. Interesting. All right. What are we in? We're in September. If I go back, let's see, that would be August, July, June, May, April. Okay. I'm going to go back to like February, or maybe even as early as the beginning of the year, where it feels like this started, and yet it seems like it hasn't fully manifested yet, which is around the corner, which is what you don't want. Okay. That said, let me give you a little clarity here. Okay. I know that you are making some changes for yourself so that you can be, we'll say, back on track and back on top of things. And yet that physical drain that you're feeling is making it difficult.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to recognize that the physical drain is just your body saying that you are not quite ready yet to take over the world. Okay. Give yourself a little bit more time. I'm feeling we're September, October, November, December. I'm going to say by December, and I'm going to say mid-month, actually going into the latter part of the month, which is somewhat of a contradiction because we know that's like the busiest time of the year. I feel like your energy actually is going to be better, which means your physical being is going to be better. But in the interim, stop pushing so hard. You're pushing to make things happen, and your physical body is saying, no, I can't do this. You're not listening. I just can't do this. And you're going, yes, I can. I can make this happen. I'm going to force it to happen. And your body's going, nope, you're not ready yet.
Yeah.
have a little bit of patience with yourself, because again, I feel if you can wait out this 3-month period and just be a little more gentle with you as far as what you want to get accomplished, you're going to find by December, you're actually feeling much better and you're much more able to move forward.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
As well, let me make a little suggestion here as far as healing this emotional stuff. Even though you've been working on it, it's not complete yet. And what I would like to suggest is take a moment, get quiet, visualize the situation, and see it in cartoon form. Now, I know that sounds silly, but as soon as you start to change the way it looks in your mind's eye, the less hold it has on you.
Right.
If you can turn it into a silly cartoon so that when you look at it, you don't feel that angst, it lets go. You're able to literally breathe easier. You're able to sleep better. You're able to actually get back to eating a little more normally, which is important.
Okay.
I don't get you having enough nutrition in your body to help with the level of stress that you've put yourself under. It feels to me as if you need to take a look at things with B vitamins. And also I get B vitamins, I get C, really important for some reason right now. And I want to also say, is this D or E? No, this is D. So B vitamins first, C second, and then I get D as third. So I would take a look at my diet and tweak. And that doesn't mean that all of a sudden...
I'm actually being treated for that right now.
Are you?
On a Myers cocktail. Yeah.
Okay.
6 weeks straight, yeah.
Okay, so then you're
really bringing all my B's up, and my levels are borderline. So,
well, I'm sure the physician is giving you things as far as supplements or treatments.
Yeah, she's holistic and a MD.
Okay,
thankfully.
Then
I found someone
on your end of it, really take a look at what food you could enjoy that will help with this process.
Okay.
Because I feel like if you do the two together, you're going to be a happy camper. And again, this to me, I'm saying 3 months, but it's actually less than 3 months to go into the middle of December.
Okay.
And you will definitely see a difference. But please stop pushing yourself so hard, because the more you push, the more difficult you're actually making it instead of honoring your body right now.
Everybody depends on me. They're like, oh, you can do it, and so I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but there's that word that we don't like to use, no.
Yeah. That's true.
Really? Say no, sorry, can't.
Yeah.
Busy.
I'm gonna have to do that. Yeah, exactly. Busy healing my body.
That's
Sorry,
it, exactly.
Go.
Exactly. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, Halley.
Feel good. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
My pleasure. Just a reminder, folks, you can reach me off air at my website, HalleyElise.com, or you could call the office 561-755-2166. I'm happy to speak at your meetings, or if you have a corporate venue that you need a keynote, please give me a holler. I'll let you know what I'm up to and how I can help you. Have a beautiful night, and we'll connect again next week. Thank you.
Remember to tune in every Tuesday on WNN at 9 p.m. for more peace, inspiration, and psychic phenomena with empowerment psychic Halley Elise, Top 100 Psychic.
The opinions expressed on the preceding spot.